soil, water and air are all interconnected. Everyone has the right to utilize the soil to harvest what he needs by growing the crops he desires. At the same time, everyone has the responsibility to protect it, to sustain its productivity and fertility and health. Now everyone talks about this global warming, and even globally many actions have been started to combat CO2 enrichment in atmosphere and reduce global warming. CO2, as we have already seen, is one of the major components leading to global warming. What's soil? By proper soil management, a major contribution to mitigate global warming can happen. If we understand, if everyone understands the link. See, already there is 10 times more CO2 stored in the soil compared to the atmosphere. By storing more carbon in the soil, we restrict the speed with which it is released into the atmosphere. Thereby the levels of carbon can be reduced. The atmospheric carbon can be harvested through photosynthesis and stored as a plant biomass and also as soil carbon in huge quantities, in tegatons. So thereby the level of CO2 in the atmosphere, when it is reduced, its contribution to global warming as greenhouse gas will also come down. For a greenhouse gas is one which absorbs the radiant energy and emits it in thermal infrared regime to heat the atmosphere. It absorbs the energy and holds it and releases it. A greenhouse is one which is transmittive to short-wave radiations and blocks the escape as long-wave radiation. For example, in a glass house, the solar radiation will come through. For short-wave radiation, it reaches inside the glass house. There, if you grow plants, it will do photosynthesis. But after hitting the soil surface, it is emitted back in long-wave radiation. For that long-wave radiation, that glass house or that greenhouse is not pervious, is impervious. So it is recycled within the glass house. So the thermal energy, the heat energy increases and the temperature goes up. A similar thing is happening all over the world. That's what we refer as this global warming. When the concentration of these greenhouse gases, mainly carbon dioxide, then methane, the nitrous oxides increase, they absorb heat radiation from the sun and they start emitting in huge quantities. Thereby they increase the temperature. So to check this, they should be stored in soil organic matter, for which I can quote an example. In modern agriculture, we don't care for this mulching or crop residue rotation. The crop residues are burnt and lost, or they are not properly managed. If the crop residues, in the crop residues, carbon is stored as organic matter. If that storage is prolonged, then the rate of release of CO2 from soil to atmosphere is reduced. Thereby its contribution to global warming or greenhouse effect is also reduced. By covering the soil with mulch, we reduce the soil temperature. With adequate soil temperature and with adequate soil moisture only, the rate of decomposition will be higher by the microbial activity. By covering the soil with crop residues and mulches, we reduce the soil temperature. Thereby we reduce the rate of decomposition. We reduce the soil temperature and we reduce the rate of decomposition. So at a given period of time, the CO2 released through decomposition is reduced. So this is one major way by mulching in tropical climate or in ASEAN and regions which are exposed to solar radiation during major part of the day. If we cover the soil with crop residues as through mulching, it reduces the soil temperature, thereby it reduces rate of decomposition, thereby it reduces the rate of CO2 released to the atmosphere. Ultimately, we support carbon dioxide enrichment in the, decreasing the CO2 enrichment in the atmosphere. So to create awareness, a personality like Sadhguru traveling all over the world will make a huge impact. Just like many scientists will join hands with us, many farmers will get enlightened. It's a huge opportunity, it's a huge step towards addressing these environmental issues. So I feel blessed to be a part of, a little part of this, and I wholeheartedly support this. I see it as a huge opportunity for connecting policymakers, scientists and farmers to act together to address this global issue. Yes.